Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, 19 days until the final votes, the candidates engage on January 6th mental stability and immigration. Vice President Harris tries to win over Republicans and blasts former President Trump as unstable and dangerous.
He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy.
As Trump again pushes false claims about the 2020 election and the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The former president was asked to address the growing number of state abortion bans, putting IVF at risk in some states too. What he said.
The story of my life.
Former One Direction singer Liam Payne falling from a hotel balcony in Argentina. Overnight, crowds gathering outside the hotel. This morning, what we know about the 31-year-old's tragic death, including the 911 call.
Record settlement in the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal and a new apology this morning.
Sean Diddy Combs hit with another civil lawsuit alleging sexual assault as his team pushes for the judge to disclose the names of the accusers in his sex trafficking case.
IUDs and breast cancer risk? The new study about a possible link.
Weight loss drugs and addiction. The new study looking at Ozempic and Wegovy, how they may reduce the risk of alcohol intoxication and opioid overdose.
Florida strong. GMA is in the heart of the disaster zone, hit by back-to-back hurricanes, meeting the people on the ground, making a difference in these hard-hit communities. We have some big surprises this morning.
Good morning, America.
And we are Florida Strong all morning long. Ginger's in Tampa for us with neighbors helping neighbors bring sunshine back after those back-to-back hurricanes. There she is.
There she is. We're also going to have the details, new details on the death of Liam Payne from One Direction. Happened in a hotel in Argentina. We have the 911 call.
And we're going to begin with the race for the White House. Just 19 days until the final votes. Vice President Harris aiming to win over Republican voters, while former President Trump aiming to boost his support among women. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, starts us off in Philadelphia. Good morning to you, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, Kamala Harris overnight in some unfamiliar territory. Her first interview with Fox News as she tries to win over Republicans, and this was contentious. She was pressed on her record, on the economy, on immigration, and on many of Donald Trump's attack lines. But Harris pushed back, trying to cast herself as the candidate of change and Donald Trump as a danger to democracy.
The interview heated from the start.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the elite.
Yes, ma'am. May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish, please.
After struggling in recent days to show how she would govern differently from President Biden, the vice president trying to put a clear distance between herself and the administration she still serves in, but not pinpointing any major policy shifts.
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas.
Fox's Brett Baer pushing Harris on the administration's record on immigration.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but do you, just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have an
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released.
Speaking to an audience traditionally of Trump supporters, Harris blasting the former president as unstable and dangerous, calling Trump out for increasingly threatening his political opponents and what he calls the enemy from within.
And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake.
Harris is now in Wisconsin today with several events on college campuses in that critical state. She then heads to Michigan tomorrow and then Georgia over the weekend, George.
Okay, Mary, thanks very much. Rachel Scott is here with the latest on Donald Trump. No matter what the planned subject is that day, it always comes back to January 6th.
It always comes back to January 6th, George. And in these last two back-to-back town halls that the former president did, he's trying to appeal to new voters, but instead he is on defense about his record on abortion rights and also about January 6th. Overnight, appearing at a town hall in South Florida, Donald Trump doubling down on his anti-immigrant rhetoric and continuing to push false claims about the 2020 election. The former president taking a question from a Republican voter who says he's no longer supporting him because of his actions on January 6th.
Buenas noches, señor Trump. Good evening, Mr. Trump. Okay. I am a Republican, no longer registered, though. I want to give you the opportunity to try to win back my vote. Okay. Your, let say, action and maybe inaction during your presidency and the last few years sort of, was a little disturbing to me. What happened during January 6th and the fact that, you waited so long to take action while your supporters were attacking the Capitol.
Trump responding by claiming the January 6th attack on the Capitol was a day of love, denying his supporters came at his behest.
They didn't come because of me. They came because of the election. They thought the election was a rigged election, and that's why they came.
The reality, Trump urged his supporters to travel to Washington, promising it will be wild. He waited for hours to call off the mob. More than 140 police officers were assaulted by rioters. He's vowed to pardon those who have been convicted. His running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, now openly agreeing with Trump's demonstrably false claim that he didn't lose the 2020 election after not directly answering questions about election integrity for weeks.
I think there are serious problems in 2020. So did Donald Trump lose the election? Not by the words that I would use.
And in an all-out push to appeal to women voters, Trump attending a Fox News town hall with only women in the audience, declaring himself the, quote, father of IVF.
Oh, I want to talk about IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF.
The former president asked to address concerns about the growing number of state abortion bans imposed after he appointed 3 of the Supreme Court justices who supported overturning Roe v. Wade. That decision putting IVF at risk in some states, too. Nowhere more so than Alabama, whose Republican-dominated state Supreme Court ruled embryos used in IVF are children, halting the procedure for weeks.
I got a call from Katie Britt, a young, just a fantastically attractive person from Alabama. She's a senator. And she called me up like emergency. And I said, explain IVF very quickly. And within about 2 minutes, I understood it. I said, no. We're totally in favor of IVF.
Vice President Kamala Harris seizing on that moment.
I found it to be quite bizarre. Actually, he called himself the father of IVF. And if what he meant is taking responsibility, well, then, yeah, he should take responsibility for the fact that 1 in 3 women in America lives in a Trump abortion ban state.
So out on the campaign trail, Donald Trump often boasts and brags about appointing 3 of the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe versus Wade. Now he's aware, George, this all could be a political liability for him because he is behind with likely female voters.
Right. And meantime, you do have some new polling from battleground states.
Yeah. And so 47 states have already started early voting, including 2 critical battlegrounds this week, including the state of Georgia. So our friends at 538 have crunched the numbers. Just look how tight this race is. Less than 2 points separating Vice President Kamala Harris from former President Donald Trump. Remember, he lost this state by a razor-thin margin, just over 11,000 votes back in 2020. And then, of course, today, in the critical battleground of North Carolina, early voting begins here today as well. And this one even tighter, less than a point separating these 2 candidates. And nationally, George, this race still a dead heat, closer than ever.
It sure is. Okay, Rachel, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. We're going to turn now to new details in the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne, found dead after apparently falling from a 3rd-floor balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires. Juju Chang is here with the latest, including the 911 call. Good morning, Juju.
Good morning to you, Michael. You know, even as heartbroken tributes are flooding in from around the world, a disturbing picture is emerging in the months and days and even the final hours before Liam Payne plunged to his death in Argentina. And those 911 tapes are just gripping.
The story of my life.
This morning, shock and sorrow as fans around the world mourn the death of former One Direction member Liam Payne. The 31-year-old pop star falling roughly 40 feet from his third-floor hotel room in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Medics pronouncing him dead at the scene. Overnight, crowds gathering outside the hotel, singing his songs in mourning.
We can live forever. I can't explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm shaking.
As questions swirl over the circumstances of his death, with reports saying Payne had been acting aggressively and erratically in the hotel's lobby moments before the tragedy. Audio obtained by the Associated Press revealing this 911 call before his death by the hotel manager, speaking in Spanish.
Tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol. Cuando está consciente, está rompiendo toda la habitación.
The manager then saying he was scared for the guest's life.
Y necesitamos que nos envíen a alguien urgente porque, bueno, yo no sé si corre riesgo la vida del huésped. Está en una habitación que tiene balcón y estamos un poco con temor de que haga algo que le ponga en riesgo su vida.
Morning, everybody.
Payne had been in Argentina since early October when he attended the concert of former One Direction bandmate Niall Horan, sharing this photo of the two. In Snapchat photos and videos posted in the hours before his fall, he wondered about dressing as Forrest Gump for Halloween. He also shared this final photo with girlfriend Kate Cassidy. The photo was actually taken a year earlier. Cassidy was with Payne on the trip, but had returned to the United States a few days earlier. Payne leaves behind one 7-year-old son, Bear.
And that image just haunting of him looking up at the billboard of his father. Now, authorities in Argentina are investigating the circumstances of his death and conducting an autopsy. This tragedy is prompting a tidal wave of grief, and along with it, a lot of soul-searching questions.
It's sad.
Totally.
Really sad situation. Juju, thank you so much for bringing that to us. And Juju, we'll have much more on the reaction in our next half hour, Robin.
All right, Michael and Juju. Now to the massive settlement in the Catholic Church sexual abuse scandal. Rebecca Jarvis is here with the latest on all that. Good morning to you, Rebecca.
Good morning, Robin. And this is the single highest payout by an archdiocese ever. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles has agreed to pay $880 million to 1,353 people who say they were sexually abused as children by Catholic clergy. Archbishop Jose H. Gomez said in a statement, "I am sorry for every one of these incidents from the bottom of my heart. My hope is that this settlement will provide some measure of healing for what these men and women have suffered." The settlement brings LA's total payout in sex abuse claims to more than $1.5 billion. It covers decades of litigation against the largest archdiocese in the United States. Attorneys for the victims writing in a joint statement, while there is no amount of money that can replace what was taken from these brave individuals who have suffered in silence for decades, there is justice and accountability. As for how these settlements will be paid, they will be funded by Archdiocese investments, accumulated reserves, bank financing, and according to the Archdiocese, others named in the litigation will also cover some of the cost. Michael?
All right, Rebecca, thank you. We're going to turn now to breaking news overnight. In the Middle East, U.S. bombers striking Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen, while Israel is preparing to strike directly against Iran in retaliation for a missile attack earlier this month. For correspondent James Longman is in the region. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. Lebanon is now in deep crisis. 1 in 5 people have now fled their homes as a result of Israel's invasion. That humming sound, you might be able to hear that, is the sound of an IDF drone over Beirut. Meantime, the US has hit targets in Yemen overnight. They used B-2 stealth bombers to strike Houthi rebels backed by Iran.
The Houthis are backed by Iran and have taken credit for attacking ships in the Red Sea for the past year in response to the war in Gaza. It comes as Israel pushes deeper into South Lebanon. 1.2 million people have now been displaced, the IDF unleashing huge airstrikes. A local mayor and 15 others were killed here, where the UN says they were planning humanitarian responses. Israel says they targeted Hezbollah. And here, a massive IDF detonation obliterates an entire Lebanese village. And another alleged Israeli attack on a UN peacekeeping station. The UN says an IDF tank appeared to fire deliberately on their post. The IDF says the incident is under review. Meantime, Prime Minister Netanyahu has approved a series of targets for retaliatory strikes against Iran. Netanyahu's government has given the White House a general sense of those targets. It's understood the Biden administration is, quote, relatively satisfied. The timing of the strike remains unknown.
And looming over all of this, Israel's expected strike on Iran. And what will Iran do in response? Will it be dangerous escalation or uneasy stalemate? Guys.
All right, James, thank you for that. And now we are going to shift gears to the baseball playoffs. And the Dodgers beating the Mets in Game 3. Our Will Reeve is here with the highlights. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Michael. And guys, lest I be accused of East Coast bias talking all about a potential Subway Series, World Series, let's talk about the best team in baseball who showed every bit of their prowess last night. What a show from the LA Dodgers. And guys, I found something under the desk here. It appears that Shohei Ohtani's 8th inning 3-run home run landed here at our desk. The official measurement had the home run at 397 feet, but now that ball easily flew the 10 miles from Citi Field right here to Times Square. Look at that moonshot into the night. Ohtani, the best player in baseball, maybe of a generation. George, he has 0 hits these playoffs when the bases are empty, but he has 7 hits, including 2 home runs, in 9 at-bats with runners on base. That is clutch.
He's a pitcher.
He is a pitcher as well. He's like Babe Ruth. And there was some clutch defending from the Mets in this game. Tyrone Taylor had this outrageous and dangerous catch in the early innings. Look, he almost got his head taken off, but he's okay. And Francisco Lindor here with some all-world shortstop play. But ultimately, this game was domination from the Dodgers, 8-0, a drubbing. LA now 2 wins away from the World Series. Game 4 tonight in New York. And the Yankees and Guardians resume their series tonight, Game 3 in Cleveland.
Still a lot of games to go.
I know. There's time.
Mets got a chance. May have that Subway Series you want.
I'm going to head back to Citi Field. They need it. I got to bring it back.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right, you too. Coming up, we have a new study of more than 1 million people looking at weight loss drugs like Ozempic and substance use disorder.
Plus, more on the reaction after former One Direction star Liam Payne's death.
And at a rally in Los Angeles, family and friends pushing for freedom for the Menendez brothers. We are Florida strong. Ginger is live in Tampa as neighbors help neighbors recover after those hurricanes. We'll be right back.
8 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter of Game 3. 4 seconds. Ionescu will heave and hit! Sabrina Ionescu with the biggest shot in Liberty history.
I am bleary-eyed from staying up late to watch it, but it was worth it, as my mom would say. It was worth it. Incredible game in this incredible season for the WNBA. The New York Liberty now 1 win away from their first title, led by Sathrina and Stu York City. We'll have much more on that coming up shortly.
Well, that was some shot.
Didn't
even get a smile out of her, though. We have a lot of headlines right now. Former President Jimmy Carter has voted by mail in his home state of Georgia. Carter turned 100 earlier this month. His family said he had hoped to live long enough to vote for Vice President Harris, and he has. Also, right now, the search is on for 2 crew members missing after their Navy aircraft crashed during a training flight near Mount Rainier in Washington State. Navy officials say the cause of the crash involving a Growler electronic warfare aircraft is under investigation.
Plus, there is an urgent manhunt in New Jersey after a detective was killed in an apparent home invasion. Police finding 51-year-old Detective Sergeant Monica Mosley shot. She died at the scene. She was a mother and a grandmother. And the FTC has finalized a rule to make it easier to cancel subscription and memberships. The so-called click to cancel rule says that if customers enroll online and through an app in one step, they should be able to cancel the same way.
Thank you.
I agree. Big time. I love it. All right, this would cover gyms, retailers, and other businesses. The changes are set to take effect in April.
About time.
Yep, I'm gonna start clicking. And we got a lot more ahead. Victor Okendo is with the food bank. And Ginger, she's with kids at the Thaddeus M. Bullard Academy in Tampa, where they're getting breakfast on their first day back to school since those back-to-back hurricanes. And we are bringing sunshine back to the Sunshine State. We are Florida strong all morning long, and that is all coming up, Robin.
But right now, Michael, Lauren singer Liam Payne, who we know catapulted to fame with One Direction. So many fans and artists shocked after hearing the news. Juju is back with more on all this reaction that we're seeing overnight. Juju.
Good morning again, Robin. You know, there is an absolute avalanche of grief, and it's hard to overestimate how hugely successful One Direction was at its zenith. They were only together 5 years, drawing comparisons to the Beatles at the time. Now, a lot of painful questions about what went wrong in a storybook career, the story of his life that began with such promise.
The music superstar shot to fame as a member of the mega hit band One Direction. As one of the group's most beloved singers, he opened their blockbuster hit, What Makes You Beautiful.
You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door.
Payne first trying out on the talent show X Factor.
Cry me a river.
Then matched up with Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, Zayn Malik, and Harry Styles to form the juggernaut One Direction.
We've decided to put you both through the judgment.
The boy band quickly conquering the music world.
Let's go crazy, crazy, crazy till we see the sun.
In hit after hit. One Direction dominating the charts, enchanting fans, and selling more than 70 million records worldwide.
It's testament to our fans that have got us in this position now where, you know, we have the power to be able to sit, enjoy, and write our own music. It's ace.
The band appearing on GMA several times over the years, promoting their final album together, Made in the AM, back in 2015.
All these lights, they can't blind me with your love. Nobody can drag me down.
But after the band split, Payne quickly emerged as a solo artist.
You know I used to be in one deep, now I'm free.
Appearing during our summer concert series and giving Directioners hope that one day the band would return to the stage together.
I just need a little bit of time and then I came back into it. It's nice. I mean, you know, I miss being with the boys. That was so much fun.
Sure.
You know, we love the boys. But I'm sure there's time for that to come back around. And my thing is, the more success we have on our own, the more success we're going to have together in the future.
But as his star rose, so did his struggles with substance abuse. Opening up about his sobriety and mental health last July, revealing he'd been sober for 6 months after receiving treatment.
It's good to be in this position, and yeah, I definitely don't need those things anymore. The party's over.
People magazine reporting that Payne had recently been struggling with issues related to his ex-fiancée, Maya Henry, whose relationship with Payne ended in 2022. A cease and desist order was issued to the singer last week after she alleged he would not stop contacting her. He leaves behind his 7-year-old son, Bear, recently sharing this photo of the boy looking up at his dad on a billboard. Overnight, Harry Styles' mother posting this image of a broken heart, along with the words, "Just a boy."
Seems to me that when I die, these words will be written on my stone.
Just a boy, indeed. You know, he first auditioned for X Factor as a 14-year-old boy. And the band One Direction officially split about 8 years ago. And clearly, Liam was upfront about some of his struggles since then. And now authorities are trying to get to the bottom of what may have contributed to his tragic death in Argentina.
But the outpouring of love and
Absolutely.
Just shock.
Just a tidal wave.
Yeah. Thank you, Juju. Appreciate that. And now to the new push for freedom for the Menendez brothers. Family and friends pleaded for their release at a rally in Los Angeles. And Mola Lange joined us with more. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, Michael. After 35 years behind bars, a new push for freedom for Eric and Lyle Menendez. Dozens of their family members pressuring the LA District Attorney to release the infamous brothers.
This morning, an emotional plea from the Menendez brothers' family.
They were just children who could have been protected and were instead brutalized in the most horrific ways.
District Attorney George Gascon's office saying, "We have heard the heartfelt pleas from the Menendez family. While we cannot formally comment on any decisions at this time, please know that our office is dedicated to a thorough and fair process and is exploring every avenue available to our office to ensure justice is served." This comes as a stunning front for the Menendez brothers as 20 family members urged the Los Angeles District Attorney to recommend a resentencing that could potentially free the men.
We're here because we're in support and wanting to show the strength in numbers. The strength that numbers bring, and hopefully will be heard by the district attorney.
Kitty Menendez's 92-year-old sister, Joan, arguing the gravity of her nephew's claims of sexual abuse used in their defense was not understood at the time.
The truth is, Lyle and Eric were failed by the very people who should have protected them, by their parents, by the system, by society at large.
Extended family from both sides standing behind Lyle and Eric Menendez, who have been serving life in prison for the 1989 killing of their millionaire parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, at their Beverly Hills home.
They would be called cold-blooded killers, left to rot in jail and denied any hope of redemption.
They've shown that they are more than their past. They are survivors and deserve a chance to rebuild their lives.
Despite the show of support from family, one member is adamant about keeping them behind bars. Kitty's brother, Milton Anderson.
Mr. Anderson firmly believes that his nephews were not molested. He believes that that is a fabrication, and he believes that the motive was pure greed.
Well, the LA District Attorney says he could make a decision this month, and then ultimately a judge will decide whether the Menendez brothers will be released from prison or if they get a new trial. Michael?
And a lot of people keeping a close eye on this, Mola. Thank you so much. And Impact by Nightline's Menendez Brothers, Monsters or Victims begins streaming today on Hulu. George?
Okay, Mike, we turn now to Sean Diddy Combs, hit with another civil lawsuit alleging sexual assault as his team pushes for the judge to disclose the names of the accusers in his sex trafficking case. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is tracking that case. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, George. To fulfill his sexual desires, federal prosecutors have said Sean Combs abused, threatened, and coerced multiple women. He's now asking a judge to order prosecutors to identify them. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges, and his lawyers say he needs the names of the alleged victims so he can prepare a defense. Anonymous allegations, the lawyers say, have created a hysterical media circus that deprived Mr. Combs of a fair trial. The music mogul's latest accuser is identified. Her name is Ashley Parham, and she's alleging in a new civil lawsuit that Combs arranged her gang rape as payback for accusing him in the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. Parham says she was at an apartment in Orinda, California in March 2018 when Combs showed up with an entourage and a knife, doused her with lubricant and sexually assaulted her, and then instructed others to do the same. Combs' legal team did not respond directly to these new allegations, but referred us to earlier statements calling these claims false and absurd, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Now, with the new study released overnight, looking at whether certain weight loss medications can potentially help with substance use disorder. There have been similar studies, but this is the biggest of its kind, and Ariel Resniff is here with the results. Good morning, Ariel.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. As you said, this is the largest study to date about just how effective these GLP-1 medications may be at combating and potentially treating the serious and adverse effects of substance use disorder.
Breaking overnight, the largest study of its kind showing even more promising signs that weight loss medications like Ozempic and Wegovy can help lower the risks of intoxication and overdose.
The fact that these GLP-1 drugs may be able to help and aid in these addictive behaviors is just monumental.
The landmark research looked at over 1.3 million people, 500,000 with opioid use disorder, and more than 800,000 with alcohol use disorder, and found those taking Ozempic had a 40% lower chance of experiencing an opioid overdose. The risk of alcohol intoxication cut in half compared to those not taking the drug.
While we can't say for certain that these medications or these drugs cause a decrease in addictive behavior or a decrease in opioid overdose or alcohol intoxication, what we are seeing, what we love to see, is that the research is starting to mount.
And the results weren't just evident in healthy patients, but also in those with type 2 diabetes, obesity, or both. Christine Martin didn't participate in a study, but she says the medication has helped her control her own drinking habits.
I have no desire to drink wine anymore. And that's crazy to me because I couldn't stop before.
According to the CDC, as of 2022, 1 in 6 Americans ages 12 and older reported experiencing substance use disorder.
The relationship with these drugs and addictive behaviors is probably far more complex, and we don't understand it quite well yet, and a lot more research needs to be done.
Now, beyond alcohol or drug addiction, there is some preliminary evidence that these GLP-1 agonists could also have some benefit for other addictions like gambling. So huge impact for so many people across so much of this landscape.
Seems like
health.
you have a new application every day.
Every day we're reporting on something new.
Wow. All right, Ariel, thank you very much. We got the play of the day. We want to get right to Rhiannon. I know your daughter was very happy with the results of the WNBA.
She is so happy. What a game. I'm still recovering. I don't know about you guys. What a game 3 between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. A franchise record in attendance, 19,521 fans there. But New York superstar Breanna Stewart really put the Liberty on her back. She scored key baskets and came up big on D, finishing 30 points and 11 rebounds. But this was Sabrina Ionescu's night, living up to her nickname, Sathrina. And then the moment of truth. With just 8 seconds left, the game was tied. Watch Ionescu. She's got the ball. Ionescu hitting perhaps the biggest basket in New York Liberty history and of Ionescu's career as well. Ionescu saying afterwards, "I am built for this moment." Hard to argue with her there, as the Liberty are now just 1 win away from their first ever WNBA championship. The Lynx have won 4 of them. Game 4 is tomorrow night. If the Lynx tie it up, they will head back to Brooklyn for Game 5. It's been 50 years since New York has had a basketball championship.
Wow.
Can they pull it off?
We'll see. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Breaking news. The new report on the Trump assassination attempt warning that another incident can and will happen again without Secret Service reforms.
Countdown to Christmas. The holiday shipping deadlines you need to know, and why this year is a little different.
And we're going inside the GMA Toy Lab with some of Good Housekeeping's top picks that could be on your list this year for preschoolers up through tween.
Florida strong. This morning, GMA is on the ground in the heart of the hurricane disaster zone. Meet the real-life superheroes risking it all to help their neighbors.
Do you guys need help?
Including the mother and son who rescued over 50 people with their small boat.
We just started evacuating them.
And the organizations who have served more than 30,000 meals. GMA is Florida strong. As they say,
live in Times Square, this is GMA.
And we are Florida strong this morning. Good morning, America. Thanks for being with us as we head to Tampa, where so many communities are recovering in the wake of Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
And those 2 deadly storms left a tremendous amount of devastation in their path, but they did not crush the spirits of the folks who call Florida home. And this morning, GMA is Florida strong.
We are there on the ground with the amazing neighbors that are helping each other get back on their feet, and the incredible organizations that are stepping in to put sunshine back in the Sunshine State. Ginger is live at the Thaddeus M. Bullard Academy, where it's the first day back since the storms, and Victor Oquendo is live at a senior citizen home where some folks are getting a hot meal for the first time since the storms hit. So Ginger, tell us what the mood is like there at the school. Good morning.
Good morning. Look at all these smiling faces. We're getting in some cornhole this morning. I said you have to cheer for me even if I don't make it. Yeah! Didn't make it. And we're just enjoying this moment because it is back to routine after back-to-back storms changed everything that these kids know, flipped their lives upside down. But now, an incredible organization is helping them get back into the flow of things and feel normal. Also, we'll have a couple surprises for them. So you know it's all sunshine here in the Sunshine State this morning.
We're looking forward to that, Ginger. Thank you for being there for us. And Victor, this senior citizen home just got their power back on Tuesday, and it's all hands on deck to make sure folks there have something to eat.
That's right. Hey, Michael, it is breakfast time here at the Young Senior Apartments in Tampa. For many people, this is their first hot meal since Milton hit, without power for nearly a week now. So things are slowly starting to get back to normal, but there's still a lot of work to do.
I love that Young Senior.
Absolutely.
Young Senior
Apartments. We have a lot more coming from Florida in just a little bit. Right now, look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the new report on the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. A Department of Homeland Security independent review warns that without reforms in the Secret Service, it can and will happen again. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the details. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Make no mistake, this new report is damning, unflinching, and flatly suggests that the Secret Service is so flawed that the lives of its protectees could be at risk right now. This morning, a scathing new report by a special commission concluding that the assassination attempt aimed at former President Trump revealed not only mistakes leading to the incident, but also deeper systemic issues that must be addressed with urgency. The report by a bipartisan panel of former Homeland Security and law enforcement officials finding the Secret Service has become bureaucratic, complacent, and static, even though risks have multiplied. Then perhaps the most damning statement calling for reform, saying that without reform, another Butler can and will happen.
Yeah, look, there he is.
The report points out failures that Butler previously identified and acknowledged by the Secret Service, including failing to secure that building, which had a direct line of sight to President Trump, and a stunning lack of planning.
What I saw made me ashamed.
But the review also details ongoing flaws that could lead to tragic results today. The panel said it found corrosive cultural attitudes regarding resources and a troubling lack of critical thinking before, during, and after the assassination attempt. The report also points out that lax security at Butler came despite the fact that the Secret Service was aware Iran is actively plotting to assassinate Trump. And the panel concludes that the service must improve its training and overhaul its leadership.
Important review. Okay, Pierre, thanks very much.
All right, we're going to turn now to the release of shipping dates for any holiday gifts you need to buy or even sell. Consumer correspondent Becky Worley is here to tell us why this year is a little different and walk us through those dates. Good morning, Becky.
Michael, good morning. It may be 69 days to Christmas, but more importantly, it's about 62 days to the cutoff for the least expensive shipping to get your gifts in time. So let's hit those dates. FedEx Ground has its deadline December 17th. The United States Postal Service first class mail cutoff is December 18th. And UPS has its 3-day air deadline December 19th. Of course, there are expedited options all the way up to same-day delivery December 24th, Christmas Eve. But the longer you wait, the more you pay, Michael.
Yep, that is the truth. And Becky, the timing this year is a little unique, isn't it?
Oh boy, Thanksgiving and Hanukkah are late. Thanksgiving is November 28th this year. Compared to last year, there are 5 fewer shipping days between Turkey Day and Christmas, so less time to buy and ship gifts. And then Hanukkah's really late, starting on December 25th, Christmas Day. So with a dual Hanukkah and Christmas gift deadline this year in the weeks that lead up to the 25th, those brown trucks, they are going to be packed to the rafters. The poor mail carriers are going to be hauling a ton of gifts. So plan accordingly, start your lists, and ship early, my friends.
Yep. Thank you for the warning there, Becky. Get us on track. All right. Thank you.
You're
Robin?
Right. We have been warned, Michael. Thank you, Becky. Now, a new study about a possible link between certain IUDs and increased breast cancer risk. Eva Pilgrim joins us now with those details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Hormonal IUDs may slightly raise your risk of breast cancer. It is a surprising discovery out of a new study. Researchers followed some 79,000 women in Denmark for more than 6 years. What the researchers found is the breast cancer risk with hormonal IUDs is actually about the same as with hormonal pills. This was an unexpected finding because it was long thought IUDs were lower risk than the pill because lower levels of the hormones were directly released into the uterus. It's important to note, while there is an increased risk, health experts say it is still very low. The bottom line here, talk to your doctor about what form of contraception is best for you. It is not one size fits all. There are a lot of factors to consider when choosing, you guys.
Okay, Eva, thanks very much. Coming up in our GMA Morning Menu, I'll take you behind the scenes with Bruce Springsteen as he gets ready to take the stage. Legendary rocker reflecting on everything from career to fatherhood to wife and bandmate. That is Alpha's cancer battle.
Also ahead, we're in the GMA Toy Lab with the winners of the 17th Annual Good Housekeeping Toy Award. They're picked for kids from preschool to tweens.
Plus, Tori is back with her Deals and Steals Fall Festival. This morning, skincare and beauty must-have starting at less than $5. And GMA, Florida Strong, Ginger and Victor are there on the ground for us in Tampa with those impacted by the deadly hurricanes. And these folks have no idea they're about to get more than $1 million in help from some wonderful organizations. You do not want to miss what we have in store, so come on back.
You know the music. It's for our cover story, a special preview of my time backstage with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. We got a front row seat to see Bruce pull back the curtain of life on the road. Not many ever see this. ABC News has rare backstage access to one of Springsteen's tour stops with the E Street Band. For them and for me, this is a chance to be in the presence of rock and roll royalty. Pre-show, the boss is in his dressing room, still finalizing the songs he'll play.
I think we got it.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey!
Thank you for having me in the Inner Sanctum.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, this is such a treat for me. Thank you. Did you just finish the set list?
Yeah, that's what I spend my time doing before the show.
And does it change depending on how you feel today?
Well, I try not to repeat any two. So when you're doing 130 shows, that's tricky. That's why these books are filled with set lists, and more set lists.
You know, you always say that you want them to leave with more than they came.
That's my guarantee.
Guarantee?
Yeah, that's my guarantee. People are going to leave with more than that they brought in.
Never far behind Bruce is his best friend and E Street bandmate, 73-year-old Little Steven Van Zandt.
This is cool.
Still a thrill?
Yeah. I never see it like this, you know?
Do you ever get nervous before a show anymore?
No. That's the only place I really feel at peace, you know, it's on stage.
This is the 104th stop of a massive worldwide tour, their first in 6 years. Capturing that excitement is the new Hulu documentary Road Diary, which pulls back the curtain on the E Street Band's first rehearsals after that extended hiatus.
I hadn't seen everybody together for a very long time. I'm always taken back by the deep, profound sense of camaraderie that you feel when you see everybody all together.
Watching the E Street Band, you see a well-oiled musical machine. A band that, despite the odds, has stayed mostly intact for almost 5 decades. You all have made a choice. We're staying together. We're going to do it.
Most bands break up. Most duos break up. Simon don't like Garfunkel. Sam don't like Dave. The Everly Brothers, they don't like each other either, man. 2 guys can't make it happen. You know, forget about 5 or 6 or 15.
And as time goes on, you realize that the strength comes from that collaboration. And it helped with not having any plan B.
There was one notable absence tonight on this stage. Bruce's wife of 33 years and E Street Band member Patty. In the new documentary Road Diary, for the first time, Scialfa reveals that she is battling multiple myeloma, a blood cancer. How's she doing now?
She's doing good. We caught it early, which was important. We've been about 6 years since she was diagnosed.
You kept it quiet for a long time. Yeah. Why reveal it now?
She hadn't played in the band in a long time, and people, I don't think, knew why, you know. Like, where's Patty, you know? So we said, we gotta let people know what's been going on. And the nice thing now is she comes out and she can sing a song or two.
Springsteen credits Scialfa with teaching him how to be less rock star and more hands-on dad to their 3 children.
I was running my father's game plan when we first got together and we first started to have children. And Patty really sort of reoriented me. I was a lazy musician sleeping till 11 o'clock. Kids were getting up and going to school without me. And all Patty said one night was, she said, well, hey, you don't have to get up. But if you don't get up, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it all. So what do you want me to do? Just get up and make the pancakes tomorrow.
You learned how to make pancakes.
6:30 a.m. I'm up, cursing, grumpy, bopping down the steps, made pancakes. In a relatively brief period of time, I became a very good short order cook, you know. And she was right. The kids had something going in the morning that was unique and special and allowed me to become the father that I hoped I could be.
A glimpse of life inside the Springsteen home. You know, when Patty came out to that See Here Now festival out at Asbury Park, very symbolic song. They sang Tougher Than the Rest.
And she is tougher than the rest. And it is remarkable that band has been able to stay together all these decades.
Just incredible. Almost 50 years.
Yeah. Looking forward to the special.
Yes, we are.
Bruce Springsteen backstage and Backstreet airs this Sunday at 10 Eastern right here on ABC. And his documentary Road Diary, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, streams October 25th on Hulu and Disney+.
Ooh, and it's time now for Deals and Steals. This week is our annual Fall Festival and day 4 of Tori Johnson bringing us skincare and beauty products this time. And this is for all skin types?
All skin types. Ooh. Dermablend making its GMA Deals debut. This is the #1 dermatologist recommended brand for covering cosmetics. So it's all about coverage for any particular issue. Specifically, think about things like bruises, birthmarks, scars, tattoos, something that perhaps you want to cover up. They've got an option for you. For face, it's the highest density of pigments. It's this cream coverage, so it goes on incredibly natural looking. Sometimes you think you've got to cake it on if you want to cover it up. Not with Dermablend. That's what they specialize in. And then they also have their leg and body makeup as well. And so if you've got something that you want to cover in that area too, they've got a solution for you. All of the skin tones, everything 50% off today, starting at $16.
Alrighty.
That Elena is very, very excited.
I love beauty devices, but sometimes they're not easy to use.
They are not easy to use, but NuFace is different. This is considered the 5-minute facial. Facelift. It's about toning, contouring, lifting. That's what you get with their microcurrent device, FDA cleared. So we've got the Mini, we've got the Trinity. Great for the larger size. Trinity also has an optional red light attachment. So if you want to do the entire face area with that red light technology that I did right before the camera could catch it. So I'm going to do it again to show you. Lily, you got my red light, baby. And then we also have the Fix, which is a smaller one, and that one is great for smaller areas. So the lip area, the eye area, even the forehead. These products are great, easy to use, 3 to 5 minute treatments depending on the device, all slashed in half today.
Okay, these cool temperatures, your scalp can get a little dry.
Your scalp can get dry, and you know what, quite frankly, like we put a lot of abuse to our hair and our scalp just on a regular basis. So this is really all about scalp health and hair health. We've got from Divi, we've got their scalp serum. This is one of their best-selling products, and this is all about nourishing the scalp, helping to remove all of the buildup of products, even helping to avoid thinning hair loss from thinning hair. We've got their volumizing shampoo and conditioner collection, as well as the hydrating for dry, brittle hair. All of these products are phenomenal, and today they're all slashed in half.
I love the color of the packaging.
The packaging is beautiful.
For what it's worth. What do we have here?
We got some quick fixes from Murad. This little one right here, targeted wrinkle corrector. So that is a winner. You need a quick fix, baby. Plus, it's really easy to put on.
Love it.
It's a great product. We also have this one, their Revitalixer Recovery Serum. So that's a really great one to reduce puffiness under eyes, to help smooth stressed skin. All of these, you guys know them and love them. 50% off and free shipping from Murad. So Alberto came out here and said to me, "You didn't tell me we had this," and he started pointing to all his favorites. It was hard to pick a winner. 2 of mine. This foaming cleanser, it's their Greek yogurt foaming cleanser. This is the original seed to skin skincare from the oldest homeopathic pharmacy in Athens, Greece. Their other product, this one right here. This right here, it's the Santorini Great Velvet Skin Drink. I do not leave home without face oil. This is a winner, but really you cannot go wrong. From head to toe, we've got an option. It's all 50% off or more and free shipping from Korres.
And speaking of toes,
Barefoot Scientist. So first of all, just smell these.
I love these, I know.
This is what you put on overnight to wake up with these softest feet. But let's say you need something faster. We've got their cooling masks. We also have their really phenomenal cuticle oil. This helps to repair and strengthen nails from damage, not just your cuticles. We also have their blister prevention spray. Everything for your feet right here. $3 to $24.
$3 to $24, that is it. How does she do it? We have partnered with these companies on these great deals, and you can get them by heading directly to our website. One more day?
One more day, baby.
She's coming back
tomorrow. Actually, Saturday, too. 2 days.
2 days. We got tomorrow and Saturday with more Fall Festival deals. Michael?
All right, Robin, thank you. Now to Florida Strong. Neighbors are banding together as they begin the long process of rebuilding after Hurricanes Helene and Milton tore through the area. And GMA is there to help.
Victor Akendo is at a senior citizen center in Tampa, where some people are getting a hot meal for the first time since Milton hit a week ago. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, ever since the hurricanes hit, many of these people here at the Senior Citizen Center have been living off of canned goods, but they're finally getting that hot meal this morning thanks to organizations like Feeding America. So I'm here this morning with Thomas Mance from Feeding Tampa Bay. Quickly, tell me about the work that you guys have been doing and the reaction from the community.
You know, we got hit hard. Those were two really big storms, and our most vulnerable population usually experiences storms at much greater impact. And so organizations like ours make sure we get fresh, healthy, nutritious food, prepared meals on the table of folks that need it.
And of course, we've taken notice. We're not the only ones. Our friends at Abbott, they want to make sure that you can continue to do all of this great work. So they are presenting you, Thomas, take a look, the donation of $300,000. Yeah, that deserves a round of applause. That's a lot of money, Thomas. Tell me, what will that do for Feeding Tampa Bay and for the Feeding America networks?
Communities are made better when communities heal each other and look after each other. This is an incredible donation that'll make sure that folks in our families in our community have the meals they need.
And how much food and water have you guys already donated? Because 5 million pounds?
An organization like ours is providing about 400,000 meals a day out into the community, and that tells you how important our work is, how important our partnerships are, but how great the need is and how impactful the storm was.
Back-to-back storms. Thomas, thank you so much for all the work you're doing. Our friends at Abbott, thank you guys so much for this. What a generous donation. Guys, I will send it back to you in New York. More Florida Strong coming up.
All right, Victor, it's so good to see so many people chipping in to help those in need down there in Florida. And coming up, Ginger is with those awesome kids in Tampa. It is their first day back at school since the storms. And wait until you see who's going to surprise them. And you can scan that QR code on your screen and learn more about how to help people in Florida. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Oh, and you want to be back here on GMA because we are Florida Strong this morning. It has been incredible to see the unbreakable spirit of those affected by the deadly hurricanes Milton and Helene. In just a matter of hours, people's lives impacted forever. And now it is time to rebuild, put the sunshine back in the Sunshine State. We've got a huge announcement as part of a broader commitment from Walmart and Sam's Club. The Walmart Foundation is donating $1 million to Feeding America to support food banks in communities impacted by both hurricanes. Did y'all hear me? $1 million. Come on. Wow.
And our team has been on the ground since the storms hit, sharing stories of resilience and courage. Right now, Ginger is live at the Thaddeus M. Bullard Academy. First day back to school, Ginger.
Yes, and the kids are excited because it's back to routine. I mean, imagine going through a hurricane as an adult. Oh, how about 2 hurricanes as an adult? But what about these kids? It is such a big deal when your entire life gets flipped upside down. All the businesses, the family, the friends impacted. And I gotta say, I've done natural disasters for a very long time, and it sounds cliche, but truly the best in humanity comes out in these situations, and it's the people that live here, the locals, the folks that do it every day, and they are helping, jumping in everywhere that they're needed.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
Do you guys need help?
Francesca Michelini and her 21-year-old son, Nicholas, taking to boats to help their community.
My son looked down one of the side roads and he's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of water down there. It looks really bad. We just started evacuating them.
The water was very, very dirty. You could not see the bottom at all.
The mother and son rescuing more than 50 people.
A lot of the people that we took out, all they brought was their cell phone and didn't have time to pack clothes.
As the Tampa Bay area recovers and rebuilds,
4 plates, please.
People are stepping up.
It is heartbreaking. We all know somebody that's been impacted by this.
Tim Marks and his team at Metropolitan Ministries this past week preparing more than 40,000 meals and handing out 3,000 boxes of food. Thaddeus Bullard, a.k.a. former WWE great Titus O'Neil, is serving his hometown through his foundation and at the school named in his honor.
I truly believe that I can't go out and help other communities without take care of home first.
At the Thaddeus M. Bullard Academy at Sly Middle Magnet School, where 44% of children live in poverty, the youngest are looking for stability after the storms.
You see those faces, wondering, where are they? Did they evacuate? I hope they did. Are they safe?
Teachers working nonstop to get them back into school.
When you're dealing with high needs, being at school, we have structure. I know that I'm going to get a meal.
And to bring hope back to the classroom.
There are some students who likely will not be returning for a while because, just because you see the conditions in the neighborhood, and we're going to do everything in our power here to make sure that they can recover.
I'm just hoping that we can provide some hope and some structure for them to believe that things will get better.
Please allow me to introduce you to the people who are at the forefront of making a difference here in this area. This is Thaddeus Bullard, founder of the Bullard Family Foundation. We've got there Tim Marks from Metro Ministries, Angela Brown, the principal at Thaddeus M. Bullard Academy, and Gary LeBlanc, co-founder of the ministries here, the Mercy Chefs, excuse me. So Thaddeus, I want to start with you. You brought everybody together today. You always give back. You are so all about the kids, but especially at this moment. Why does it mean so much?
It means so much because I came from this background. A lot of these kids coming from a single parent home. My mother struggled to make ends meet, and that never met. And we've encountered 2 hurricanes in the last 2 weeks. And many of these families and these kids in this community in particular didn't have much to start with. Yeah. And now to just be thrown back into the fray with the teachers and the students, and they got to deal with trauma and et cetera. The stress of it, some of them don't have gas. We had to buy uniforms for some of them, buy shoes for some of them because they lost everything. It's important for us to provide some hope and some love, and that's why we got.
And I know you have. Tim, let's talk Metro Ministries, because you all, in the middle of the night, you get the call, even in rural areas, you go out to help. How are you staying motivated after the last couple of weeks? It's got to be so hard.
It's all about hope and bringing hope to people that are in crisis. You can't turn your back on anyone who's struggling. That's what we've been doing. We all know someone who's lost everything. These families that we're working with that on, they don't have the support network that many of the other families have. We're here to stand in the gap.
Well, we are wanting to help with that. Our friends at Abbott would like to donate $50,000 to Metro Ministries so that you can keep doing that work. We love that.
Okay.
So happy. Okay, Angela, you've been the principal here. You've been side by side with these kids through the whole thing. They're resilient. We already said that, but how are you staying strong?
Well, so as educators, we are here to change the lives of students. But at the end of the day, students don't realize how much they really change our lives. We're able to bounce back because they bounce back. So a few weeks ago, it just felt really hopeless. But today, seeing their faces, hope has been restored, and we're excited for today.
Well, I got to tell you, you're not alone, and there's some help out there for you as well.
Yes.
Maybe this will add to the smile. Carnival is donating $10,000 to the Thaddeus Bullard Academy. And hold on, and Save-A-Lot is also donating $10,000. So $20,000 going straight to the school.
Thank you so much.
We are so happy to hear about it. Thank you for what you do. Gary, you're the co-founder of Mercy Chefs, and you all know the value of putting food and strength and nutrition into people that are trying to build back.
Right.
So tell me what you want people to know about the folks here in Florida.
Well, we get to serve people a meal on what might be the very worst day of their life, and we believe something amazing can happen over a shared meal. We do it as family, we do it as friends, but it's such an honor to go in and remind people they haven't been forgotten, they haven't been forsaken, and share that hot meal with them. And the people of Florida are so strong and so resilient, and it's all about neighbors helping neighbors here in this state.
Well, I gotta say, Gary, you know, we want to keep making those meals happen and keep making people strong. So Crystal Geyser is donating $10,000 and 80,000 bottles of water so you can keep doing your work. Because that water's huge. Dad, let's just go all the way there. You know, you make these students have a day that they need to have the routine back. Why and what do you see in each of these kids when it comes to coming back after storms like this?
Yeah, I see some of me in each and every last one of these kids. I say it time and time again. We're in the 6th highest zip code for children living in poverty in the state of Florida, and we want to try to help increase opportunities and resources for these children, but we also want to continue to break generational curses. I was the first one in my family to graduate from high school. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college, and I want to continue that cycle of folks being able to have this chance to do that. So days like today are days that we not only get to come together as a school and a community, but one of the reasons why this community of Tampa is so great and so strong.
Well, I know that the Bullard Family Foundation has done so much, but you can do more if you have more. So our friends at Verizon are donating $20,000 to the Bullard Family Foundation. Wait, there's more. And then our friends at Wells Fargo couldn't get enough of what you're doing. They see all of this and they said, no, we need to donate $50,000 to the Bullard Family Foundation. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Wells Fargo.
Thank you to everyone. Okay.
We appreciate you.
Wellness Day is just getting started. Should we get a little more spirit up in here?
Absolutely.
All right, come on in. Let's go.
Okay.
Derek Brooks, it is so good to see you. Please come in. So, Hall of Famer, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're involved in the Lightning now. Tell me, 14 years of a career here. You are invested in this community. Why did you need to be here this morning?
Well, to not just being here, you know, obviously we want to bless all these kids and get smile on their faces. As Titus was saying, it's all about investing back in them, and being a part of the Lightning now, we get to bring resources to our community to help us rebuild.
We are so happy. Look at all of these beautiful faces. Y'all, it worked. We brought sunshine back to the Sunshine State.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger.
Let's head into our GMA Toy Lab, where we have our toy experts checking out some of the winning toys from the 17th Annual Good Housekeeping Toy Awards. Lexi Sachs, the Executive Director of Strategy and Operations at the Good Housekeeping Institute, is here to show us the toys that made it past over 300 kid testers, so they've been put to the test. And they're all $60 and under, which is exciting. Lexi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You said nearly 300 toys were tested for the Toy Awards, and we're going to start out with 2 items for preschoolers.
Yes, these are good for the youngest kids. So we're starting with this toy kitchen from Batat. It is under $50 and includes all of these accessories. Great for role playing. It's 2-sided, so great for multiple kids to cook it up. Have that cafe in the front. There's a chalkboard. So really great value here, and we love the size. It's not too massive, so it doesn't take up too much valuable space in your home.
I had one of those little kitchen sets.
Yes, every kid needs one.
A fruit plate.
He is adorable.
Yes. All right, what do we have here?
Okay, so Bluey continues to be such a hit still. So this is a transforming playset. It starts off as this airplane and then turns into a beach resort and a boat. So lots of great play value. This one is a really unique set when it comes to the Bluey toys.
I like that. That's really cool too. And now we're going to move on to something for kids a little bit older.
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah, so this is great for that 5 to 7 age range. So we have this Darth Vader that tells your future. It works sort of like a magic 8-ball. You ask it yes or no questions, and he gives you sort of that expressive personality. So you can press his head. Should I study for my spelling test?
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy.
Yes, so he's very cute. If you press his head a lot, he gets really annoyed. So lots of personality there. Really cute.
I like that. Lots of. Will Gary ever grow taller?
I'm altering our destiny.
Oh, I had to ask. All right. And what do we have? Dinosaurs and trucks and everything here.
Yes, this is a remote control dinosaur bumper cars.
That's really cool.
So really great because it is 2-player, and if they bump in just the right spot, I'm going to pick this up and bump it.
Knocks it out.
That dinosaur comes right out. So parents said that their kids played with these so much longer.
For hours.
Hours, and it's really great that it's 2-players, siblings, friends, even parents playing with their kids. It was a really big hit.
Big hit, I can see why.
Yes.
Now this is something for big kids and tweens, and they can get creative with this one.
Absolutely, this is a really great new way to create bracelets, figurines, accessories. They have these hard plastic pieces with like a rubber band material, and it comes in this case, so it's very comprehensive, great for working on those fine motor skills, but also expressing yourself, creativity, a lot of fun.
I like that little Pac-Man.
It's adorable, right? I made this one this past weekend with my daughter. Not this exact one, but at home. Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
we
really
had a lot
cool.
of fun with it.
All right, Lexi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of that. We really appreciate it. And you can shop all of these products on our website, and be sure to check the latest issue of Good Housekeeping, which is on newsstands right now. When we come back, Victor Oquendo is with the organizations helping neighbors rebuild together, and we're there in some of the hardest hit areas.
Back now with Florida Strong, and what a meaningful, powerful morning, seeing the incredible stories of all those coming together. And right now, Victor Oquendo is in Tampa. He's been with these communities as they've surveyed the damage. And Victor, we know there's still so much work to be done, but this is a special morning. Thank you for being there.
And Robin, getting those hard-hit communities back on their feet, it can take so much time and effort, but just one small gesture, like helping your neighbor, it makes all the difference.
This morning, resilient communities gathering together.
What Helene started, Milton finished.
To refocus and rebuild. Organizations like Team Rubicon stepping in.
We're on site today cleaning up flooded houses, removing drywall, removing damaged fixtures.
And nonprofit Rebuilding Together, helping repair houses for low-income homeowners.
Back to back, that 1-2 punch. How did that impact operations?
Horrible, because we were ready to already have boots on the ground after Helene, and then we started to talk, okay, what are we gonna do with Milton?
Taking us along with them to tell families they won't have to rebuild alone.
Hello, Miss Gilmore. Hello. How are you? We're gonna be replacing your roof. We're gonna make sure we install the ramp for your brother so you can evacuate quickly. We're gonna make sure that we increase your electrical panel so you guys can take a much relaxing. And if I get a hug, it will be amazing.
What does this mean to you?
It means everything, because I worked hard to get the house and pay for the house.
Inspired by their effort, we want to provide support.
Our friends at Humana heard your story and about all the great work you're doing, and they want to make sure that you can continue to do it. So they are donating $10,000 to Rebuilding Together. There you go.
Now I'm the one who's gonna cry.
We're not done yet. Our friends at Purdue Farms also heard about Rebuilding Together. They want to help out as well. So here is another $10,000 from Purdue Farms.
Thank you very much. It's just overwhelming.
Our thanks to the good people over there at Rebuilding Together. Now I'm joined by another incredible organization, Team Rubicon here. This is Art Dela Cruz. You guys, this organization led by veterans, you guys help out communities all over the world after natural disasters. You've been on the ground here for a week and a half, so tell us about Team Rubicon and the work you've been doing.
Yeah, so Team Rubicon is a veteran-led humanitarian organization, and we've been present in Florida really for the past few years. Ian, Idalia, now Helene and Milton, and we have our volunteers spread across 3 counties with 2 more ongoing, and we're helping people recover by gutting out, mucking and gutting their homes, getting all the wet materials out, tarping roofs and removing debris, and it's all because of our incredible volunteers.
I remember doing some work with you guys after Hurricane Ian a few years ago, seeing members of Team Rubicon on a hot roof here in sunny Florida, fixing that roof up. So that work that you do makes a big difference. And we're not the only ones who have taken notice. Our friends at Merck, well, they are donating $200,000 to Team Rubicon this morning.
Well,
how do you feel about that? I mean, there's a round of applause, no?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and $200,000 is an investment in the future of people who've been impacted by these storms. The reality is, collectively, we sprinted into the marathon, and that $200,000, thank you, Merck, is going to help us, put families back in homes and give them hope for tomorrow. So we couldn't be more grateful for that, and we'd love for people to continue to support us at trusa.org by volunteering or supporting our cause.
How many people would you guys say you have on the ground right now in Florida helping out?
Yeah, we probably have about 300 people in Florida, and those numbers will continue. And we're spread across really 6 different states. We have 10 different bases of operation today, all from Hurricane Helene.
Keep up that good work, Art. Team Rubicon, thank you guys so much. I will send it back to you in New York.
All right, Victor, thank you so much. And what he said, by being in all those different areas, it just reminds you of the impact of these storms that we've had.
They're making a huge difference.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
What a morning we have had celebrating strength and resilience in Florida.